Uncle Randy, I think this was your idea. Am I right?
I really don't want to be a part of this. Next question. Next question.
Don't mess him up.
You've been watching too many NBA interviews.
Oh, Lord.
You started this, am I correct? Are you the one who initiated this weekend?
I think I am the one to.
What was your... Why did you want to do it?
I think our family has grown so large, and we've always been a very close family. I like to leave that as a legacy that our parents left us, is to keep a close family.
So what were your expectations for this weekend?
To find all of the cousins that are our kids come together, grandkids, get to know each other. So as they grow, they'll build relationships.
I'm very happy how things are going. And I'm happy that as many came as they did. So I'm happy with that. And it draws the family much closer. The more we be together, the closer the family can be.
That's not always true. Because the more I'm around some, you really test me. This truly a test.
Okay.
You finished?
Yeah, are you finished?
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
And Greta, you want to add to this?
Yeah, I'm happy that...
It's a test.
I'm very happy that Randy decided to bring the family together. I wish it had happened a little bit earlier than now, because we just lost so many of our siblings that it would have been great if they was here. But, you know, it's better late than never. And like they said, for all the kids to get to meet each other, that doesn't know each other, and just come back home. It really feels like home, since things have been done here in the house, and Mom and Dad's picture has been hung on the wall. It feels like home.
What was it like growing up here?
I didn't grow up in this house. I didn't get a chance to grow up as a child here. I grew up down the street, down the road, and that house got burnt down. No one.
You want to tell that story?
I think Randy should tell that story. I think Randy should tell that story.
I think he should.
Yeah.
There was a big walnut tree in the back of our house. And it always had walnuts, black walnuts. And I have a sister that's 5 years older than I. A phenomenal cake maker. She could make cakes. And she would always tell me, if you crack the walnuts, get the walnuts, I'll make you a cake. So I would spend all day cracking walnuts. I would do my chores, excited, knowing that I had a cake, a walnut cake. But every time something would happen to the walnut, I I would fall for it every time.
But Randy should have known that mother was not going to let me use her butter or her eggs to bake a cake. And I didn't know how to bake a cake. But he would fall for it every time. And every time I'd eat those nuts up. Oh, Lord, yeah, so.
Is that fair?
No.
It was for him because he was a very unfair person.
Mischievous.
How old were y'all?
It doesn't matter.
We don't know.
When we had to go to the field to pick cucumbers, all of us were supposed to be there until mother had breakfast ready. He would get to the field, and all of a sudden, hadn't been there 10 minutes, he wants to go get us some water.
Because it was hot. It was.
But we were supposed to have been there until breakfast was ready.
I studied science. I didn't want them dehydrated.
So when he decided to go get some water, I decided that I was going to whip his butt.
And I was taking care of her. She was sweating and dehydrated.
Okay.
So I'm the caretaker. I've always been the caretaker.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I said, I turned my bucket upside down and I had a seat because I knew this was going to be very interesting. She's going to whip him. He was a little tall, bony kid. She knew how to do some wet. And Lynn's going to whip him. I'm like, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to see. But
I got the water.
she got it was very interesting, I can say. Yeah.
The oldest kids always kind of handle the youngest just like your mom. She was a caretaker for us. And that's the way we grew up, trying to make sure things was done the way they need to be done.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's transition over to you guys as siblings, the ones that have gone on. Let's start with, I guess, the oldest, Maxine, and then let's move down. Talk a little bit about them and how they affected you guys' life.
Well, as far as our vaccine, back in the day, you really didn't realize a child that was born outside the wedlock. We connected to her, but it wasn't as close as we needed to connect. But
I can hear all
then,
that. I can hear all
I'm
that.
sorry.
but then the older we got, then we had a closer connection. And the older we got and realized there was children that wasn't in the marriage, then when we realized how close we needed to get to Maxine, we came down and apologized to her that we didn't, accept her the way she needed to be accepted. And I think the reason why I realized that is when I had my child out of wedlock and her family wasn't there like it should be. But after that, the family began to grow.
Maxine was brought into the family when Dad and Mom got married. They kept Maxine for a short time, and after Mom had the twins, and then shortly after Joe was born, it was just too much for Mom because she'd had the strokes and all of that. So that's when they allowed her to go stay with her uncle on the other side, which was Slim Cummings. So that's kind of how it kind of grew apart like that. But we always knew that was our sister. My dad always protected her. If there was a problem in her marriage, my dad's going to show up and try to protect his daughter. So she was always loved and known in the family as our sister, but we didn't grow up that close. Not until we all was grown and we understood things better then. So yeah, at the end she was definite close to us and our sister, yeah.
And because I'm so much younger, I had a different experience. In fact, I lived with her for a year. Whenever a house burnt down, I lived with her, and she treated me like a son.
She's a sweet person.
I just fell in love with her. So, yeah, my relationship was a little bit different.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's move to Mama. What was the experience? I know she wasn't here a long time for you guys, but what was that experience like with her?
Well, what I remember about my sister growing up, Easter, we always have a dress, some shoes, an Easter basket. She would always send us stuff back for Easter. And when she came home, she was the happiest girl you ever want to meet. Always laughing and, you know, full of joy. She brought joy to the house. So that's all I remember as a kid of her, is what she would send back home and when she came home.
So she was gone when you were how old?
Let me see, Joe, she's about 14 years older. Well, 14. Joe is 10, 12. She's about 13 or 14 years older than me. So my memories of her being home, I don't have.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't have.
pretty much the same.
For you too? Really?
And so with me, your mom was 17 years. So my mom was almost 50 when I was born. My mom didn't expect to live. So my mom had already talked to your mom
About raising me.
So all of the nice clothing you got, I would have gotten. I would have. So,
That's where we going with it.
I'm just saying,
I'm really not calling you uncle.
did you not know that?
No, I had no idea.
Your mom gave me my middle name because my mom didn't expect to live. So she let your mom give me my middle name. However, I used it till I was about to go in high school, and it never showed up on my birth certificate.
Right.
So I had to drop it.
Oh, wow.
Randy Harrell.
Rainier.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
But just remember, I would have gotten everything nice. It's too late. Sweaty shirt.
That's next, ain't Joe? She's the one with the most history.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss that she's not here.
She have the history. She was going to write a book. She always said she was going to write a book. She never did. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she came to be with Mom in her last days.
Yeah.
All of us.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
But she was out
The
there.
day she died. Yeah.
Yeah. Joe had, I'll start off with Joe as almost my second mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's 10 years older than me, but she lived at home even after she got married. And I was like her child. I mean, she taught me so much about life and what your body go through and how to handle this, and you know, and like you say, she was with your dad when your mom, when her passing, she was with us and taught us how to, how do I say this? When Dad was dying, she taught us how to let him go. And I mean, she just had so much to share being a nurse too. that she had experienced a lot of this stuff, and she was a great lady. She had her faults like all of us, but she was a great lady. She walked us through many things in life. Yeah.
She was a caretaker. And clothes and stuff she would buy for us because she knew our parents wasn't able to do it. And then on the holidays and stuff, she would come up here and get us and take us to Benton. And take us to different places we never go. The first time we went to a club, she carried us.
13 years old, I'm walking up in a nightclub with heels on this high, trying to make me look older, and holding on to her husband to get in this nightclub.
First time ever.
But I think those experiences, it let us experience some things at a young age that we didn't get curious and go out in the world and do some foolish things that we already was familiar with, life and the outside world and stuff, you know. But yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned that she taught you how to let grandma go or grandpa. She did the same thing. We were in the room and Mom was laying there and she said, your mom is trying to leave. Y'all need to stop praying.
And let it go.
I remember those words vividly.
She was a caregiver, that's for sure.
Yeah, she told us the same thing. Matter of fact, Liz and I was getting ready to go to work, and she said, I don't think you all need to go to work tonight. I think you need to stay here because Dad is leaving us. And so she even told us to go back into the room and tell Dad it's okay for him to go. And when I was in there saying my goodbyes to him, and I said, Dad, it's okay for you to go, I was holding his hand, and when I said it's okay for you to go, he did, like he just kind of threw my hand out of his hand, you know. But later on, Joe expressed, and I think she might express to you guys, that she worried about how we felt about her telling us Dad was gonna leave. Did she do something to cause it, you know? So yeah, but with her experience in nursing, she knew. Yeah.
Wow, this is getting emotional.
Yeah.
Who's next? Uncle Sonny?
Leon.
Okay. The man who gave me a job at the hospital at 16 years old and gave me a car to drive without a driver's license to get to work.
Wow.
Talk about him.
Wow.
Well, Leon, when he got married, and moved to Kansas, well, he was already in Kansas City. And when he got married, he came here and got married. And I didn't ask, could I go to Kansas City? I had just finished high school, and I went to Kansas City, Kansas with them. He let me live in a one-bedroom house.
Oh, Lord.
They had just got married, and they had twin beds. I slept in one, and they slept in one.
Something you can never forget.
Scarred for life.
But he took good care of me. He made sure things were the way they was. And after I got a job, you got to go. So I got a room, apartment down the street from him. And he took very good care of me.
But I need you to back up, because I never shared about Joe. I live with Joe my last 3 years of high school. Her husband was like a father. She was like a mother. He gave me my first car. Yes. And I can speak about the both. Because my dad and my mom was so much older. There were certain things they could relate to that my mom and dad could not relate because of the age difference. So I would not feel right not talking about Joe and John. They were my second parents.
The man with the Lou Rawls voice.
Yeah, that's him. Yep.
With Leon, same experience. I would leave Arkansas, come to Kansas City. He'd have a job for me at the hospital. And he was a big brother.
Yeah, he definitely.
Great guy.
Did you do more than he had me doing? I burned trash at the hospital. What'd you do?
I took advantage of his position and he had helped. I did custodian work, but he took care of me.
That was him.
Yeah.
My experience with Lee, I don't remember him being on, me growing up with him very much either. So when I came to Kansas, I didn't know him very well. And my dad's brother died, Uncle Woolley. And Liz was working, but Lee was coming home to go to the funeral. And Liz suggested that Lee and I come as representatives. You remember that? And so I had to ride in a car with a guy that I really didn't feel so comfortable with because I didn't know him that well. But that was a beautiful experience. And after that, we attend church together. And his last 5 years, that was my guy. That was my guy. If you need a good laugh, call Leon.
He was better than me.
No, not better than you. We're this. We was that.
Yeah, he was my guy. I mean, we could solve so many problems, man. If it was a problem going on in the church, we get together, we could solve it. Okay, call me the next time a problem come up. You know, that was our funny joke that we solved everything together. And I still miss that guy today. I mean, he was just a good guy. Yeah.
Great guy.
He was a great guy. He was a big brother. I mean, he had wisdom. I mean, he would encourage you in the right direction and stuff. So, yeah.
Great sense of humor. Great sense of humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he did help the family out a lot, like, providing jobs and that type of thing. Yeah. He was a guy that liked to deal with stock. Yeah, he loved that.
He was an investor.
As an investor. Yeah. Many people's at church, he turned them on to it, watching their finance and where to put their money and stuff like that. So, yeah.
So now it's Uncle Sonny.
Yeah.
Okay. I only have limited experiences with him. I think we went to Benton maybe 2 or 3 times, but then every time we came here, he wasn't always here. So I need to hear some stories about him.
By me living with Joe, Sonny and Joe were neighbors.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
So that connection with my oldest brother, it happened there. We connected. Sonny had a reputation in Benton that no one else had. He was feared by many and respected by all. He was feared by many.
Hot-tempered.
Just,
He wouldn't take no stuff.
yeah.
He wouldn't take
And
no.
they knew it. They knew it. Respected even by the Caucasians for his being a man. In fact, the swimming pool in Benton was integrated by him.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. Before blacks could swim in the city pool, he was the one that initiated that integration.
These are the stories that need to be told.
But one of the funniest things by us living next to each other. If I look out the back door and his car was parked behind the house, you know what that means? He outran the police.
Is that right?
I'll never forget it. And parked his car behind the house.
Oh my goodness.
And police left him alone.
Son and I was probably, out of the four, were the most outdoors, hunting and fishing, those type things. So,
I remember Mom was so proud when they built that house.
yeah.
She got to go there and see.
Yep.
I went
Yep.
there one
Yes.
time. Yeah.
Sonny was a protector too. At school, I remember this. The grade ahead of me had gotten in troubles, and there was a principal that he would use the pedal on the kids, and he ended up pedaling all the kids that day in the grade ahead, and our class was next to be sent to the principal office. And my brother Sonny said, if they send you up there, come and get me. That was the end of that story. He was going to take care of that. So
As a protector.
he's a protector, yeah.
So, who's next? I mean, what brother or sister's next?
Then it would come
It
to
would be
me.
Liz.
That's all of the deceased.
Yeah, that's all the deceased.
Okay. So, y'all gotta talk about it. Y'all got anything good to say?
Not too much. I'll try.
Liz,
This old girl here,
can you leave?
yeah. I'll close my ears. As a kid, so this is my road dog.
Yeah.
She and I have been close all through life. Growing up, sleeping together, getting up in the morning, fighting. Start off playing, end up in a fight. When I moved to Kansas, I moved in with her. We worked at 2 different jobs together. And the last job we worked at together was Folgers, and I mean, my best friend, my sister.
Tell them about when all 3 of us lived together
Oh yes, all 3 of us lived together.
and she tried to control us.
She tried to control us.
I didn't try, I did it.
And then she tells us, y'all don't quit smoking, I'm leaving, I'm gonna put y'all out, I'm gonna move. I'm like, no, you're not. We gonna smoke our cigarettes. And then, well, I'll let you tell about when you almost got them put out of the place. But
Not almost, I got put out.
Cut that. Don't put that.
We got put out.
No, let me tell you. When Liz would go to work, Red and I would do whatever we wanted to do.
we were happy. We were happy kids. But when Mama come home, oh Lord, she thought she could tell us in and everything
I did.
we needed to do. You know, Mother wasn't like you doing that. I'm like, I'm not in Mother's house, okay? That's why I love Mother's house.
Tell her what we got evicted from, Randy.
She bought a car. The motor went bad.
You bought a car.
Was it me? What happened?
Down in the basement, the beam that's holding the house up.
That's what you pull motors on.
That's what it's for?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the reason they put steel beams Yeah,
Yeah, the pull motor's up.
yeah, they hold a bunch of weight. And it was perfect. It was right under my car, right over my car. So I just put my motor up. The doggone landlord showed up out of,
Nowhere. We was all at work.
why did he come over there?
I don't have a clue yet.
I bet you didn't pay the rent.
Did you? And I didn't know anything. When I knew anything, they were serving me eviction.
Did y'all actually have to leave?
Yes.
Do we have a place to go?
I went to my brother-in-law's house.
Can you put me out?
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
I stayed there until I was able to buy a house. Then my brother came there.
Which brother?
The mechanic?
Yes. And he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. And I helped him find a house because he had to get out of there. He wanted to drive my car.
I love my sister.
And I had enough of him. I said, it's time for you to get your own car. Are you going to co-sign for? No, I'm not. He went and got this
73 Grand Prix.
Grand Prix and drove it up.
It was a woman catcher.
Drove it up. Got out of the car. I said, just polishing it, going on. I took a picture of the nigger.
What?
And for his Father's Day a couple of years ago, I took a picture of that, and that was his Father's Day gift, his first car that he purchased. And I ain't been bothered with it.
But let me tell you something about Liz when she was growing up and dating. She had this little boyfriend come to her house, and we had a living room we could sit in and entertain our guests and everything. And so she and this young man was sitting in the living room talking and whatever. And Mother came through there, and she saw them holding hands. Yeah, they was holding, and that was the end of Liz dating. What did she ask you, Liz?
Was we getting married?
Yeah, asked when they get married. Liz never let another boy come to the house and date her.
James Hagan.
She said, that's it. Are y'all getting married?
That was the first time I ever had anybody.
So, those were the values that our parents had.
Yeah.
If you're holding hands, that means you're serious about each other.
Yeah.
Those values are gone.
Our mother had the high standard
Yes.
of, oh Lord, I mean, it was like no other.
Before I let you go there, let's finish the siblings and then we're going to
Oh,
talk
okay.
about the parents.
Okay.
So, who's next?
Felix.
Oh, Lord.
I agree.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Felix is my next door neighbor. Felix is a great, great brother. He's a protector too. In high school, he see some boys that he didn't like trying to talk to me, he's gonna interrupt that conversation. So yeah, he's a protector. He ran some off. I think he shouldn't have, but he did.
She didn't say that.
Well, I say that he shouldn't have because they wasn't boyfriends. They were just friends. It wasn't nothing like that. But he just got his eye on me. If he think they ain't no good, they need to go. Felix and I grew up kind of close together. We kind of partied together when I got to Kansas. Then we end up being next door neighbors. Whatever Felix, he come up with a suggestion that maybe we should do this, and he found some property and he wanted somebody to go in with him buy property. Well, I had great respect for his little thinking and stuff, so we did that, and we ended up living next to each other. That was a great thing. He had a car shed out back. And after he got sick and retired or disability or whatever, we would spend countless hours down there at his shed, just talking. We would be down there from maybe late evening until 12 o'clock when my husband got off from work, just hanging out. It was wonderful. But now my brother's a little different. He's not feeling well, and things have kind of changed, but he's a great guy.
He was also, between him and Uncle Leon, I stayed, like I would stay a week with him.
A week.
Yeah. He also let me drive his car to work.
Yeah.
But he also made me catch the bus.
Yeah, Felix was a fun guy.
Felix, 6 years older than I. So when I'm 6th grade, he's 12th grade. So he's my big brother in school. We're at the same school. After I graduate and move to Kansas, his house every Friday night.
That's right. Game night.
That's where the family would meet. All of our siblings, we meet at his house, fry fish, play cards, dominoes. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
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 Man, I missed out on so much
Yeah.
living in Detroit.
Yeah, that was the house to be at
Yeah.
Felix's house.
He was always, the memories I have as a young teenager, he was always the one cracking jokes.
They was.
Yeah, he loved to have fun. He loved to have fun. It was fun being around him. Yeah.
Well, when he first came to Kansas, he lived with us. And shortly after that, he had to go to service. What did they do when you...
Drafted. They drafted.
He was not happy at all. Wow, he was not happy at all. So we give him a party. He got messed up. But yeah, it drove him crazy, but he made it. So he left his car with me, and I finished paying for it. When he came back home, he wanted his car, and I had paid for it. But we didn't, we didn't have argument. We just settled it and moved on. But just like they said, he was a good guy.
Yeah.
He, to this day, he used to send pictures to Mama of him in the Army. I think he was in Korea.
Yeah.
And he had on shark
Shots.
skins.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I wrote a letter back to him saying, he always teased me about this. I wrote a letter saying, when I grow up, I want to go to the Army. So, look, I know.
Yeah, you didn't know what you was talking about. Yeah.
All right, it's your turn.
Certainly.
Yeah, what y'all got to say about this lady?
Yeah. What you gonna say now?
Yeah.
Well, that was
Spoiled? Really?
that wasn't what I was expecting.
She's a good one. Just like she said, we is boom boom. And when she graduated, she headed straight to Kansas as well. And just like she said, we worked together 2 different jobs and stuff. And pretty much what she said about me, I can say the same thing.
No, you can say more. You got more to
When
say.
she started smoking,
Save it for me.
when she started smoking, I told her, no way I'm gonna live here with you. So she told me, I'm not living by myself.
That's the gospel.
So I think her intention was
Movement, Mr. Kennedy.
Deacon Kennedy. And I know Mother was not gonna have that. So I approved her smoking, and she stayed. Stayed until they made some good decisions.
Did he have that afro man?
Oh yeah. It's gone now.
He ran away.
Yeah.
Alright. That's my baby sister. So, we grew up close. Being the last 2 at home. But even after we got married, we raised our kids together. We have hit almost every state in the union with our kids.
Yep.
So So, from the time we got married, we've always traveled together. The three of us, our families, our kids, every vacation together. When we came to Detroit together. So yeah, that's, and it's ironic that we both married people that just fit in the family. Her husband is like a brother. My wife is like a sister.
That's true.
So traveling,
It's easy.
we never had a disagreement. Never. That's unheard of. The three of us, if I said, let's eat Cajun food, if they didn't like Cajun food, they'd say, okay. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's not that we were taught this, but I have never felt like they were, this is my auntie's husband or my uncle's wife.
Never.
Y'all always felt like my uncle and my auntie. I mean, that's what you guys did
Yeah.
for us.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's valuable.
Yeah.
There's nothing greater than family.
Okay. It's time to drop the boom.
Uncle Randy?
About the baby. The one I don't have to call uncle. No more.
Done. Finished. Oh, that's my baby brother. What can I say about him? Yeah, it's just the bomb. I mean, when we was growing up at home, he had a mother and I had a daddy. And that's what it was. That's my daddy. That's your mama. I'm going to my daddy. I'm asking my daddy.
My mother was better than her
Not
dad.
my dad. My daddy was the king. You don't get any better than that.
My mom was the queen of queens.
And so that's kind of how we played that. And he played it real well. I mean, Dad give mom some money and Randy get the money. Cause he going to mom and she gonna empty that purse out to that baby boy. But, yeah.
Dad say no, mom say
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so we just always had a very, very good relationship. I mean, close relationship. I don't remember a time, well, with her either. Well, we're really not falling out with them and everything. And I thank God for that, because that's some powerful stuff when you got, and it's somebody you can run things through. You know, you trying to make a decision or something like that, you can always run it through your brother or your sister. And what do you think about that? They might have a different idea. One word can change the whole scenario, you know. So, yeah, he's a great guy, great Christian.
One thing I can say about him, he's there whenever you need him.
Yeah, that's it.
He's there when you need him, whether he like it or not, he's there for you.
Yep, yep.
So I can really appreciate that, even though spoiled.
He's riding. He's riding.
I am.
Yeah, and he don't.
Because I don't.
He don't care. He say he is.
I don't.
He's spoiled.
In any way you can imagine,
Yeah.
he's spoiled.
When they buy something, they should buy something for me. Yes. I'm the baby. I deserve it.
You know, it's sad, ain't it?
Okay.
What?
You ain't no baby
Yes.
no more.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, he's spoiled riding. It's everybody knows that.
Yeah.
And you know what we used to say to mother, that's her black gold. We all knew that mother had a special attachment to Randy. And it was probably because she had him so late in
Because
life.
I was so pretty. I was such a
Hey, look
pretty
at the
baby.
Pictures don't.
Those by
They
women.
don't bear witness to that.
They're just bad pictures. Just
Yeah, but he's spoiled. Everybody knew it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I need to hear about my grandparents. Because you guys are talking about them in ways I have no
Wow.
idea. What were they like?
Let me tell you about my dad first. My dad was a great provider. Loved his family. But one thing you just don't mess with is his wife. He would tell us children,
Yeah.
I will die and go to hell before I let you run over your mother.
Especially the boys.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah, he would do that. He loved that woman. He taken care of that woman. He made sure we respected that woman.
Yeah.
And if he's out working and he come home and we did something that we might need chastising for or everything, mother would, all she would have to say, you need to whip Retta.
Yeah.
And he take off across that field or reach up there and get his strap. And he didn't ask her no question. He didn't ask us, what did y'all do? That's how he respected that woman.
Yeah.
And her moral standards, her Christianity was at the top of the list for this man.
Yeah.
He was some kind of guy.
He was.
And you would say, my dad never told me he loved me. He never spoke those words, but we knew we was loved.
It was shown.
And yeah, it was shown by the way he respected and loved our mom.
And the flip side of this, how many of us would marry a person, have had a stroke, and couldn't do anything much for themselves? When he married her, she had already had a stroke.
How limited was she?
She wasn't able to do too much with her right hand. She had to switch from her right hand to her left hand to use it.
She was originally
Right hand. And then she was dragging her foot, and her leg was swollen and her foot was swollen. So it wasn't a whole lot she could do. But he married her. So that shows you the love.
And she never worked a job. Never. He took care of 8 children and a wife. She never had to work a job. Never. And while I'm talking, when I got married, you know what he told me?
What's that?
Son, here's how you treat your wife. And if you can't treat her this way, you shouldn't have married her. I'll never forget that conversation. So, my father has a reputation, and one thing that he shared with me is, son, I gave you a good name. Don't mess her up. Don't mess up a good name. My mother was a nurturer. My dad didn't have to worry about Mom when he was out working. She was raising the kids. She was teaching the kids.
Yeah, that was her job.
I think they were a perfect pair.
Yeah.
And I took it for granted that I married my mother.
That's what we look for. We look for the pattern that was before us.
And there's one thing about that, he didn't believe in all this. His mother wanted to discuss something with him, and he felt like it was going to be over here. He would leave and come back. That's that thing.
This is precious. Please tell me.
I've never, ever, ever heard of a brother met with another man.
No, he's going to leave the house before he ordered with her.
Yeah.
He's not going to do that.
And she would be talking to him as he like, my love. But he would under control.
Was he funny? Was he yell at you or give you your orders? Soft orders?
I tell you this, when we got big enough to get up to make fires, cook breakfast or something like that, and Mother would yell in the room, Retta, Liz, get up and start breakfast, or Randy, start a fire, or whatever. And she might call us 2 or 3 times, and we just lay there. And in his soft voice, don't call him.
I heard that story before.
Don't call him no more.
Yeah. And you would immediately
He never raised his voice. I never remember him really raising his voice.
When I would hear him whisper that
That's the reason of the voice.
Mom had been yelling, Randy, are you up? But Dad say, don't call him again.
Don't call him no more.
Yeah.
He was a quiet storm. He's quiet, but he means business. We know when he speaks, he does mean business.
He took good care of his wife and his family. He's not gonna run over his wife, that's for sure.
And he valued family. One of the things I think that has kept us so close together, when he knew he was getting up in age, he took his land and divided it among 8. And the reason he did that, he didn't want us fighting about who got what. When we gave us our land, he said, if you've got a problem, take it up with me, not your siblings. End of story.
And when he was doing that, he didn't want Lauren to feel like they would give her this property. What he did was put the land numbers on the land, and we had to put numbers. Just like your property there, that's the number endorsement. You have to put my property, I'll put it in there. So nobody could say, well, he was more favorable to one or the other. So he would make sure things was at peace.
It sounds like a wise man. What kind of education did he have?
Third grade. But I think we misunderstand intellect, intelligence. There's a difference. Dad was wise. He didn't have a formal education. I can imagine what he would have been had he had the opportunity to get a high school, college, a master's. I could have imagined what he could have been. But because he was privileged to go to 3rd grade, we were privileged to go to college. So, yeah.
Speaking of the land, because I do want to get back to something else, but I want this documented. What do you guys, when we're gone, what happens with this land? What do you want the legacy of this land to be? And how to be distributed or what? For your children?
Never to sell it.
That's what I want to hear.
Never to sell it.
If it's so, it should be to a family member. It should never leave Minor George and Cheney George family. Never. So if someone has a need for money for the land, please reach out to one of the descendants of Minor and Cheney.
I wanted that to be documented.
That's good.
What was it like out on the farm working? Those of y'all who did have to work under the wedding of Minor George.
I think we realized, we grew up from birth doing this. So it really never had a major impact on me. It was just a part of life. We expected that. It was normal.
What were the chores like?
From sunup to sundown. I'll let them speak to.
It was like, we was taken out of school, and they might not be the They might have not done it as much as I, but there was times that Dad would take us out of town into some parts of Missouri to pick cotton for maybe a month. And there was time to jackpot 10 hours a day for $3 a day. They would bring us water in a big dipple. You know what a dipple is? It's a big spoon. All of us, and there was a lot of us out there in the field, drink out of the same dipple.
We have a very high immune system because it had to be. We share germs. So, yeah.
That hot sun was killing all the germs. I don't care how hot it was, you were out there. You couldn't make no excuses. And if you were sick, you better not say that you were sick. You better show it. Because it didn't play. So that was part of our income for mother and dad. When daddy very seldom, but later in life, when they was 8, he worked a public job. But before that, he was just making money here and there.
So did y'all have to miss school?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
We was out of school for maybe a month and a half sometime. When we started school, we was out picking cotton. At the end of the year, we was out picking strawberries. And we would ride for the Clinton, from Big Clinton.
It's probably 30 miles.
30 miles on the back of a truck with about 20 people on the back with side doors up to go pick strawberries.
So you missed the beginning of school and the end of school?
It wasn't like a whole lot of ending of the school, but the beginning of school did.
And the school made accommodations for it? Or you just...
You know what, back then, we were just talking about that not long ago. The school didn't do what they should have done for us. And they were just there for us out.
I think being in an all-black school, they understood the economics of black families' full life. So, the disparity between white schools and black schools, it was great. And Mom and Dad did what they had to do to survive. And they did a great job. We just didn't have the opportunities. Dad, the only way he could survive was farming and farming out his kids as well as himself. He never had us do something that he didn't do himself. So, now, Mom, she took care of the house. We would work the fields. So, it's part of life. So, I have a daily routine at home, which started early in the morning, perhaps 5 o'clock, because our chores included getting the cows, milking the cows. We had chickens that had to be fed. We had pigs had to be fed. And so those chores belonged to all of us kids. We didn't have gas stoves, so we had to bring in wood to heat the house. We had to do all of that before we left home for school. So, if I go down the list, it would be feeding chickens, feeding hogs, milking cows, bringing in enough firewood for Mom, wash your face, put your clean clothes on if you had any, catching the school bus, and riding about 35 miles to school.
Passing up all kind of white school to get to the black school.
Then school would let out at 3:30. We'd ride the bus home. We would get home around 5 o'clock. You would repeat feeding the chickens, feeding the hogs, getting the cows from the pasture, milking the cows, bringing the milk in,
breakfast in the morning. We probably will go all day without eating because we didn't have lunch money. And they're not going to feed you unless you have lunch money.
That's true.
And we didn't have lunch money. So you done went all day. I don't know how much they expect us to learn. We're hungry. We got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. We've done all this. We've gone to school all day. I don't know how much attention you can give on an empty stomach. And you come back home.
All except me and Banana, we go in there and wash all them doggone dishes at school just for lunch.
To learn a lunch?
Yeah. And that was a lot of dishes
And
just for lunch.
I was fortunate because I was the youngest. So I would get 6 cents per day. 6 pennies, a nickel and a penny. And the purpose for that is I could buy 2 cartons of chocolate milk. They were 3 cents each.
I can't even.
I know.
Can you imagine a whole high school that we're washing dishes for, and when we finish, we had to go back to our classroom in order to eat lunch?
Does it make you bitter?
We never stop to think about it like that.
What made me bitter is the school that we went to, and all the rural schools that had to drive to that place to go to school. We was treated like,
Second-class citizens.
yes. The teachers there, they kind of treated us like we was the niggers. That's what makes me bitter, that they didn't take the time and understand what these kids are going through, the rural kids, and set up something to try to help us catch up in education, but they treated us so different. Until that, I don't have a desire to go back to school reunions, class reunions, and that type of thing because of that.
Did you recognize racism
Oh yeah,
in real time?
in real time. And at that time, I did.
We're all black school. However, I want you to think back what we did. We had all of those chores to do. So, what we didn't say, do we have time to come in, change clothes, take a bath? Okay, now think about the kids that didn't have to do that. Maybe we didn't smell like you smell, or dress like you dress. So, you're second class. Was it fair? No.
I'm trying to just soak all this in. I had an inkling of what it was like just watching TV, but to know that you all did this is...
Yeah.
It was something. And you know what, you really didn't really realize it until later in life, and you look back at it and it's rough.
I had first cousins, not first cousin. They were probably second cousins that would not recognize me as family until I became an adult and became prosperous and come back. And now, hey cuz, no, you're not my cuz. Do I resign? And I've pretty much let them know. If I wasn't your cousin then, I can't be your cousin now.
They were a little bit more prosperous at the time.
They were. They thought they were.
Yeah.
They thought they were a little bit elite. So to have called me cousin would have demoted them.
Let me switch topics real quick and we're gonna wrap this up.
Okay, good.
How did Grandpa acquire all this land? Third education.
His mother's
that? He inherited some, it's air property or some of it.
No, baby, the 80 acres.
Oh, 80 acres.
The 80 acres. At that time, land was dirt cheap.
Yeah, I would do it.
We're talking maybe $5-10 an acre. We're talking undeveloped land. Think about your grandpa. Not a chainsaw, not a tractor. An axe.
And I saw.
And at that time, who owned this land? Nobody. So 80 acres. I thought I was a man. But it's not till I look back at your grandfather and my dad and see what a real man is. Because he wasn't respected by the white man. So everything they did it with the challenge of not being treated fairly. So for him to take 80 acres and develop, we're nothing. We're nothing.
And you've heard, you might have heard your auntie say, Aunt Jo say that she was Dad's and Mom's first boy.
Yes.
Because she had to hook up those mules and plow the stumps and stuff, and that's clearing the ground, you know, so.
My senior year, I was getting ready to graduate. Dad told me that, and it was time to take my exam, that I had to stay home and plow the gardens, the fields. And I said to myself, I'm getting ready to graduate, I'm not staying home. I didn't know what was going to happen to me when I got back home. But guess what? The rain. My intent was to go take that exam because I was tired of this. And God let it rain and I went to school. I don't know what would have happened to me when I got back home. But my intent was to go take that exam, which I was going to fail anyway. Yes, indeed.
See, our kids, our grandkids, and our great-grandkids, they have no idea. And we're not unique. It's pretty common.
Yeah.
For every black that grew up in this area to have experienced this. The challenges of overcoming. I'll never forget when I moved to Kansas. I got a job the day I arrived, and I didn't realize until later, and I heard someone in HR say, if they're from the South, they have exceptional work ethic.
That's true.
And we did. So, yeah. So, yeah, I would hope with this documentary I have a legacy that what we've overcome, there is no excuse for my grandkids, my great-grandkids. They have no excuse. No. To be successful.
I want to thank you guys for doing this.